Well, hello everyone and welcome to the British Grand Prix here in Silverstone for the penultimate round of Aurora Racing League. We have got Rainer, we do have Forest Jump, we do have Mikhail, so we do have a championship fight still on our hands here, going in to the race weekend. Let me, as always, just set everything up, and there we go, perfect. Beast plays first one out on track. No, nowhere, not even close actually, to the first one out on track. Welcome, Paulo. Sorry. Oh, invalidated lap for JLB though. JLB's back as well, which is a surprise for me. I just feel like we don't see as much as JLB these days. Anyway, welcome everyone. Let me just go and sort one quick thing out. And we are good to go. Right. So I know there's a few people on track, but it's kind of difficult to tell who is on a lap. Right, Shotmaker is definitely one of them. Let's see. Who's the frontmost person we can find on a lap? Totally no pro purple sector 1. We've got raining and intermediate conditions here. And I think Weemont might be one of the first out, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Unless it's Rainer. It's not. Well, it was Weemont, but he seems to be struggling an awful lot. So we will go and ride with Totally No Pro back and looking for a podium, as we can see him now down, I think that's the hanger straight, then through the right hanger and towards the Vale chicane, with the penultimate and final corners ahead of him. Weemont sets a benchmark time, but I wouldn't say it's very benchmark considering that he went off the track. That's the benchmark time, and it's a hell of a one as well. Totally No Pro, a 1:38 flat. Let's see if anyone can deny this man a pole today. We've got some really quite competitive drivers here, so I don't doubt it, but it won't be this man. He's on an invalidated lap. JLB about to cross the line. It's the Hamilton straight. Crosses the line P2, but he's over a second off pole position. Next across the line will be Tesco Meal Deal. Into the right hander he goes and across the line for a 151.7, so not a competitive lap, sorry, from the Haas. Beast plays, riding the final corner through the Vale chicane and onto the Hamilton straight to cross the line and go P2, a 139.1, faster than JLB, but still over a second slower than Totally No Pro. A very good lap indeed, as we can see an Alpine facing the wrong way for a second there. Rainer, and I think that's Shotmaker or Forest Jump crossing the line. I think it was Forest Jump crossing the line. Rainer round the final corner. What's it going to be? It's a 139.2. It's slower than Beast plays. And Rainer's got a bit of improving to do as Mikhail goes P2. Still 6/10 off Totally No Pro. But crucially, 2 places ahead of Rainer. Now, they're going to need a big push. And, it's going to be difficult. And it was always going to be difficult. But Mikhail needs to do everything he can to get back into this championship. I will be able to check the championship standings in a minute, but the reason why I wasn't here, the reason why I wasn't here last week, was that Shotmaker? Oh, it's across the line. I've got hiccups. Brilliant. Yes, we do. Shotmaker. Then the reason why I wasn't here last week is because I was actually a bit weird for my age. As he crossed the line to 147.3, so he will have to go again. I was at a networking event. Yeah. But no, it was actually quite good, so no complaints there. As the young leader goes purple in the first sector. I'm not sure how much I can trust my, that's Mateus gone round right in front of Bendel, I think. No, it is actually someone else. Young leader, anyway. I'm not sure how much I can trust my track map and everything, because a lot of the time it doesn't actually tell me accurate things. But hopefully I can trust it this time round. We ride on board with the Ferrari driver then. Really slippery conditions through Maggott and Beckett's. It's always going to be tough for the drivers in these conditions. But a purple sector 2 as well. I mean, this could be one hell of a lap from Young Leader. Down the hanger straight and into this right-hander, just trying not to lose the rear end, and he's done a good job of that. We've got yellow flags in Sector 2 and Sector 3, but they've been cleared up. And here he comes then, through the Vale chicane, and before the right-hander onto the Hamilton straight. What lap time is this going to be for the Ferrari driver? It's the fastest lap, and it's the fastest lap by 4 whole tenths. Young Leader has pulled an absolute blinder. Are the track conditionings... what am I saying? Are the track conditions getting better? Or is Young Leader just put in the lap of a lifetime? I mean, absolutely no offence at all. As we see, no, it is Shotmaker rounding the final corner. He crosses the line. It's a 139 essentially. No offence to Young Leader, but I would not expect to see Young Leader on pole. He's quick. I didn't know he was that quick. I mean, over a second quicker than Rayner, his teammate. What a lap time from Young Leader. If this is not down to track conditions, then that is an absolutely spectacular drive from the Ferrari driver, and something I would not have guessed to happen in this qualifying session. Brilliant lap. Mateus rounding the final corner. He goes second fastest with a 137.622, and Forrest Jump takes pole with a 137.5 provisional pole, of course. And I do think now that track conditionings are... Track conditionings? Why do I keep saying that? Track conditions are getting a bit better now, because the lap times are definitely falling, and they are coming in a lot faster than before. But it doesn't make it any less difficult. Well, it might do, but not too much, because obviously the Silverstone circuit, only 18 corners, regarded as one of the best tracks on the calendar. I absolutely agree. But it's going to be tricky in these wet conditions. It's really going to show... It'll be the difference between the good drivers and the, the not so good. Because this track can be demanding, even in the dry. Especially things like Maggott and Beckett's. If you don't get that right, I mean, that's a lot of time lost. But we will have to wait and see. Ziobati on a lap here in the Williams, but 112 in the middle sector. Not the fastest we've seen. It's the right-hander off the hanger straight. And now on the run down to the Vale chicane. It's turn 15 that he's going to. 16 and 17, which is the Vale chicane. Up and then on to 18 and the final lap, the final corner, which then leads you on to the Hamilton straight, all the start-finish straight. Ziobati crossed the line. It's a 139.1. He'll probably want to go again and improve on that one. I'm just trying to see people who are out on a lap time. Not Mikhail. Interesting. And Tesco Mealdale retires from the session, and his car is stopped. Can we see what's happened? Ziobati is he's lit. Oh dear, that's a bit dangerous from the Williams driver. That's very dangerous from the Williams driver. We have JLB who's going quick as well. What about Beast Plays? Nope, not on a lap. Well, JLB, he could be one. I mean, he's not a fantastic first lap at all, a 139.8. Could we see JLB take provisional pole? At least for now. Behind him, Rayner is going around, but he's slower. How bizarre. JLB then. Onto the hanger straight. DRS obviously not online, and it's a purple sector 2 by 6 tenths. He's flying in that Aston Martin. Obviously no DRS on these wet conditions for safety reasons. But on the run down to the Vale chicane, I feel like I'll say that a lot today. Let's see what the Aston Martin driver can put together. We ride on board And around the final corner, don't let the rear go from underneath you. And it's good enough for P7. But he's probably not going to be too content with that. And I know he'll want more Reina boxes. Just like Mikhail did. And aborts that lap. Mateus hasn't. And he's just gone fastest by a tenth. And, well, yeah, one tenth from 100. So, good lap from the McLaren driver. Young leader out for another lap. He'll run the final corner now. Is this his lap time? He crosses the line. It's a 1:37. No, I don't think he actually put in a lap there. Maybe he did. I'm a bit confused with all the timing screens in this game. They don't really make sense a lot of the time. Everyone seems to be on invalidated lap times except for Weemart. And that's it, just Weemart. Down the Wellington Straight. And this can be a difficult Luffield, a difficult corner. Do you want to take it tight or do you want to take it wide? A lot of people take it very differently to each other, actually. I guess it depends on opinion. Is there one fastest way? Well, there probably is, but I don't know what it is. Right, round the right-hander of turn 9 and down. That's no ordinary right-hander either. That is Scott's corner and into Maggots and Beckett's. First time we ride on board with anyone through Maggots and Beckett's, and you can see how challenging it is out there. The Alpine driver making his way through, but slowly and very cautiously. Yellow flags up ahead we could see, but they've been cleared now. We've got 4 cars bunched together. 2 of them the Red Bull, 1 of them the papaya orange McLaren, who's now pit. Weemart on a lap but runs it wide. Track limits haven't been invalidated according to the FIA. And into the Vale chicane. What's this going to be for the Alpine driver? Looking in the top right, it doesn't look very rapid at all for him. He runs it very wide, and when he enters the track it's a 141, and he doesn't move up at all, I don't think. Let's see, is there anyone on our lap time here? Shotmaker giving it a go, and he's got his teammate Forrest Jump in front of him, and Forrest Jump will be searching to retake pole position. Mikhail's now out on track. We've got 3 minutes and 20 seconds of qualifying remaining. We can see him in the Alfa Romeo powering his way down the Wellington Straight into, I'm trying to figure out what corner this is. It's turn 6 and then 7 of Luffield, and now he's down to Luffield. He's got that kind of, it's like a, not a very good straight if it was a straight. All I know is that it's Cop's corner coming up, where we've seen drama in the past with Max Verstappen and Hamilton in real life. I don't think anything's properly happened in Aurora Racing League that's notable at Cop's corner, but we obviously know real life incidents. Through Maggots and Beckett's we go, and you just see how difficult it is. And he took a different line than Weemart, so some drivers struggling more than others. Forrest Jump up the road then, behind his teammate. So I think he's aborted this lap, possibly. And he'll go again next lap, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. Here's Mikhail, and he rounds the final corner. What can the Alfa Romeo driver do? He crosses the line, and it's good enough for P2. He gets in between the Red Bull and the McLaren, but it's not good enough for pole. And Mateus looking very comfortable in the lead. Reina 4 tenths up on his time, and he'd hope he is, because that first lap time was a second off the leader now. So he has really got to find some grip and some time out here at the Silverstone circuit if he wants any chance of getting on pole, because at the moment it's no easy feat. Through Maggots and Beckett's we go. Let's see, does Reina do anything differently? Pretty nicely. Was he too far on the inside curb? The lap's not invalidated, so he's alright. And 4.5 tenths up on his time here as well. So Reina coming along nicely. But is it good enough to take P1? Or is it even good enough to get into the top 4? Because that is a competitive top 4. Only 4 drivers in the 137s. They're all very bunched together. Totally No Pro was very close to breaking into that. Well, it's good enough for P5, but as I said... Oh, actually... Well, yeah, I mean, I'd said it was a competitive top 4, and he has managed to break into the 137s, but he's still not faster than his teammate. And his teammate's out on track, looking to improve. 2.5 tenths down, though. Maybe this isn't the lap for him. But I think he's still maybe going for it. It was full throttle down the straight, but no ERS to use, so maybe he's waiting and going to go again. We've only got 20 seconds left in this qualifying session, and everyone bar Weemart and Tesco Meal Deal is out on the track. Bendel's retired from the session. Mikhail going for one last flying lap, and will he be the last person to make it to the line? Young leader crosses the line with time to spare, and I think a few other people have, but Young leader's going to have to put it all into this lap if he wants to improve. When's the checkered flag come out? It's come out now, so the checkered flag is out. We got 3 minutes obviously left in the session, no more lap times to be had, and we've got a very bunched up grid of people doing lap times. As you can see, if we look behind Young leader, you can see, oh, he's 2 seconds down. Is that accurate in the top? No, he's not. He's 2.5 tenths up. See, the timings are all over the place. We're going to look to Rayner now. He needs to do whatever he can to improve on this lap time, but without much ERS at his disposal, and with already worn tyres from a lap prior, is he going to be able to do it? He's going to cross the line now. What's it going to be for the Scuderia Ferrari? It's good enough for P3, but he can't set another lap, and Young leader is 2.5 seconds up on his time. Going through Maggots and Beckett's now. What can the Ferrari driver do? His teammate looking to win the championship. Young leader isn't really in that fight at all. He does want to help the constructors, but is he going to take this off his teammate? He very much so might, because he's 5 tenths up on his time now. Young leader could be pushing for P1. Mikhail about to cross about to cross the line. Mateus improves by, I think that's 3 tenths to extend his pole, and Mikhail doesn't improve to take pole. Here's Young leader, probably the last person except for Totally No Pro who could snatch his pole, and he does! It's a 1:36.9. It's a blistering lap time. Can Totally No Pro respond? No, he can't. And the only man out on track now who can do anything about this is Beast Plays, but he's done a 150 at the moment. He's nowhere near pole, and I just could not see it coming. But Young leader takes pole at Silverstone. Unbelievable lap. He just seems so comfortable around this circuit, and it's absolutely brilliant. Pole position for not Rayner, but his teammate Young leader. I wouldn't have spotted that from a mile away. He's smashed everyone's time out of the park, getting into the 136s. Mateus second, a good lap from him, but Young leader just had more left in the tank. Mikhail P3, but with Rayner, who once again is his championship rival, and I didn't know if that would happen this year with some of Mikhail's earlier results. He's going to want to do everything he can to keep the Argentinian behind him. Rayner finishing P4, not where he would have wanted, but he can work with that. And the Red Bull of Forest Jump rounds out the top 5. What a qualifying here at Silverstone. It is beautiful blue skies in England, and as someone who lives here, I can tell you that is not accurate to real life. I'm surprised it's not raining here, to be honest. I'm surprised it's not raining in real life at the moment, but let's see if Young leader's wet pace translates to his dry pace. Let's see if anyone's a lot quicker on the dries as well, but I mean, wow, what a lap. I've got an advert. I'm trying to... from PayPal, brilliant. I'm trying to find the standings on my phone. Well, formation lap. Better watch my start, says Beast. He said there was no grip out there, and I can imagine I've done this track in the wet one too many times. I can tell you that for free. Right, everything is now set up the way I want it. And Young leader on pole. He's 7th in the standings, but he's first on the track today. Can he continue this absolute insane form here in England at Silverstone and take the win? Only time will tell. Mikhail, it's going to be difficult for him to try with only one lap, with only one race after this one left to win the championship. Would be a huge ask. Forrest jumped 3 points behind him in the standings. Will want to be able to make some moves and hopefully try and push for a P2. Totally No Pro, 153 points. He's pretty much out of it. Same with Dirty Spy, who isn't even here. For everyone else, it's just a bit of fun. But Rayner, I'm fairly certain, can wrap the championship up today. If there's a... How much is that then? It's a 14, 24, 25 point difference. 25 point difference with them. It's scary because... Yeah, definitely, Rayner could definitely wrap it up today. Mikhail's best chance. He could also take the lead of the championship today, you know. It's close, but Mikhail's going to need a bit of good fortune if he does want to get this race. Well, if he does want to get this championship. Will he finish second for another season on the run? Or will Rayner blow it and lose out? Will Young Leader pull off something that I didn't even think was a possibility and take pole and win? No offense to Young Leader at all, but with people like Mateus and Mikhail, who I know have a lot of pace, I just wasn't expecting this kind of thing to happen. And as per usual, we've got no good camera angles for the start of the race. Why did I know this would happen? Our best chance is just to ride here. Well, we've got the lights about to turn on ahead of us for the Great British Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. Looked like a good start for the McLaren driver. Not so much for the Ferrari in comparison. They were held for a long time on the grid. No one jumped the spot. Into turn 1 then. Young Leader leads. Mikhail putting a lot of pressure on Mateus. And into turn... I think that's turn 4 or 3. He's going to try and go around the outside of the McLaren, and he does so very well. Totally No Pro down the inside of Rayner, and Rayner losing a few spots there, almost under pressure from Ziabati as well. And Beast Plays goes down the inside, and it's a horror start for Rayner, down to P6. Down the Wellington straight we go. Young Leader leads. Into the left-hander, Mikhail, then Mateus, Totally No Pro, Rayner, Beast Plays, Rayner back up to 5th, but there's contact, and around goes Rayner, and it's all working out brilliantly for Mikhail at the moment. This is exactly what he wants to see. Up to P2 off the start, and his championship rival has spun around, finding himself in P13. Yellow flags in that sector, and Rayner still hasn't got back going. Is the car got damaged? I don't think so. It was contact with the Mercedes of Beast Plays that caused the guy to go around. Caused the car to go around, sorry. And now he sits dead last. JLB making a move on the Mercedes driver. And Young Leader gets overtaken by Mikhail. Unbelievable, I didn't even see it coming. But Young Leader doing everything he can to get back into the Vale chicane we go. But Mikhail leads this race. And when I was saying Mikhail needed a lot of good fortune, I didn't think it would happen. But here we are, and at the moment, if the race ends like this, then Mikhail is level on points going into the final race of the season, just like they were last time. Young Leader needs to do everything he can so that his teammate can keep comfortable at least at the top of this table. But at the moment, Mikhail's got too much pace in the dry weather. Mateus under pressure from Totally No Pro, who didn't have the best qualifying session. It was good. It was better than most. But I'm sure he'll be wanting to improve on his qualifying session. And he's already up to P4, so it's already going a little bit better. JLB P5, Bendel P6, and Beast Plays, someone who, well, the person I think who made contact with Rayner, down in P7, under pressure from Forrest Jump, who had an absolute terror of a start. As you can see, dropping 3 places from the start. Bendel gaining 5, good start from him. And Young Leader and Mateus both getting overtaken by Mikhail. Ziabati gets a 3-second time penalty already, and you can have a look at this battle going on in front of us. Forest Jump versus Beast Plays, and it's a lovely move from Forest Jump to get up into P7. I'm going to look further up the order now, because it's Mateus with a lot of pressure being applied by Totally No Pro. Into the Vale Chicane we go, and there's an already 2-second gap forming ahead, and Young Leader is struggling to keep behind that Alfa Romeo. He goes fastest, it's a 1:31.6, and it's a good lap indeed from Mikhail. He just needs to keep it up front, and he's got a much better chance at this championship than what I ever thought he could have. Well, after some of the earlier races this season. JLB then, clearly struggling in P5, not able to catch up to the people in front, but not able to really have any fights with the people behind either. He's comfortably in P5, and you can see this three-way battle going on in front of us. Oh no! Young Leader and Mateus, the pole sitter and P2, spin around as they battle it out, and they drop to the back of the grid as well. And all of a sudden, Mikhail has got a 3-second gap to the car behind, and it's Totally No Pro of all people. 4 places gained this race. Honestly, how many of those overtakes came from an actual overtake? I think one of them on Reina. Maybe 2. I'm not sure. But it's a good start for the Williams. It's a dream start for Mikhail, and it's a horror start for Reina, Young Leader and Mateus. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff said after this race. Mateus gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits as well, and look at that, Shotmaker and Beast Plays having a little bit of a battle down the Hangar Straight, and Beast Plays is going to be able to get back at him down the inside into the Vale Chicane. He thought about it, Shotmaker thought he was going to, and yeah, no overtake there, but he's virtually pushing him through the final corner onto the Hamilton Straight, and turn 1 being flat out, the Mercedes driver might be able to forge another move back past the Red Bull, but struggling to stay behind the Oracle Red Bull Racing car. He can't, and down the inside, Mateus not wasting any time trying to make moves, but it's not quite happening for him yet. What's to note? Well, JLB did actually get a fastest lap just before. Was DRS assisting him with that, or has he actually got some really good pace that I haven't spotted yet? Well, only time will tell. We've got almost a repeat of cars of what happened before. Ooh. Up front there, they get very close to touching, and they do. Beast Plays goes around, he collects it, but he's down to 11th now. Shotmaker up to P6, and he's battling it out with Weemont. Through Cop's Corner they go, and we know that it's not great to go to abreast there, and on his own, Weemont spun around. He'll drop down the order as well. Now we go through the Maggots and Beckett's. Mateus not really getting close to Shotmaker. He's still got a few laps to do so, in Young Leader just dropping off completely. It's really, really quite sad what's happened to the Ferrari driver after such a brilliant qualifying session. Ziabati has overtaken him down the inside, down the Hangar Straight, and Mikhail takes back his fastest lap as he asserts dominance over the rest of the grid, and into the pits goes Young Leader. I wonder what tyres he's going to put on that Ferrari. Any battles going on at the moment? Not really, I don't think. No. Nothing to note except JLB with Totally No Pro. Purple middle sector for JLB. He really is coming along nicely on this circuit. Different line through Luffield I said they would do in qualifying. And now it's the run down to Cops and then eventually Maggots and Beckett's. And you can see JLB's got a really nice run down to Cops Corner. How does he take it? They do let off. I think even JLB put on the brakes a little bit through Cops there, but they do have to. It's a quick corner, and if they don't put on the brakes, then they'll end up going very wide. Through Maggots and Beckett's, and it's not tidy at all from JLB. And that's allowed Totally No Pro just to creep away a little bit. But DRS is going to pull him back on the Hangar Straight. He's not going to be able to do anything into the right-hander, I don't think at least, unless he was feeling extremely heroic. But down to the Vale chicane. Again, nothing there. Looking down the rest of the grid, there doesn't seem to be anyone that close to each other. Everyone's either a second or more away, a second or more away from each other. I think you know what I'm trying to say here. JLB then, just dropping back a bit from Totally No Pro. And Totally No Pro dropping back a lot from Mikhail. I mean, this is exactly what he needs. Rayner is back into the points paying position, so at the moment, his P1 in the standings is still secure. Well, actually, it's not. For a little moment there, I kind of forgot Mikhail took back the fastest lap, of course, and that meant that for a little while there, Mikhail was leading the championship. Very briefly, and only by 1 point. Now they're tied on points. Rayner's going to need to do a bit more if he wants to properly keep his position in the standings. Down the Wellington Straight he goes, as Mikhail makes his way through Maggots and Beckett's, and that really does show how far away they are on the track. JLB slipping further and further away from Totally No Pro. Beast Plays gets a 3-second time penalty regarding track limits, I imagine. JLB getting close under braking with the DRS boost down the hanger straight, but again, he'll just drop further and further back through the rest of this lap. Well, that's normally what happens, at least. Penalty for Weemart as well. Only 3 seconds, but that might have been his second of the race, I'm not entirely sure. We can have a look now. No, if you're on a penalty, it's only 3 seconds at the moment. I'm sure that'll change. I don't know why they insist on Bendel 3 seconds as well, and that's in P5. I'm not entirely sure why they insist on making me use this camera angle. Like, it's not a very useful camera angle at all. Right, on board with JLB. Into the left-hander, and then around to Luffield. Getting close, but not exactly getting close enough. And this is where he has a little bit of an advantage. A nice toe through to Cobbs. And if you can get Maggots and Beckett's well, if you can do that well, and also Rayner. Oh no! Oh no, 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 no. He was in P9, but he's gone around, and I think it's more contact with Beast Plays. Again, for the second time in this race, they've come together. And for the second time in this race, Rayner's got to do all that hard work again. Unbelievable. JLB, DRS, down the hanger straight, but it's not enough to get past Totally No Pro. They're going to go on the run down to the Vale chicane again, but again, JLB just too far away. We ride on board with the rear wing of Totally No Pro now, and we can watch as the Aston Martin gets closer and closer and then can't make a move. And I feel like that's going to be a bit of a theme for the Aston Martin driver today. The Mercedes of Bendel, I think, pits, and I think it's time to check up. Oh, Mateus takes the fastest lap on hards. Young leader gets a time penalty, and ooh, a bit wide there from JLB, and this is allowed Totally No Pro just to get away a little bit. That means that Rayner, despite only having 1 point to his name, is now leading the championship comfortably again. As Mikhail's, and by comfortably, it's only 1 point, but Mikhail's fastest lap point was taken away. And Rayner's up to 9th now, so he's well and truly, and by well and truly I mean he's like 2 points ahead. But I'm sure that's good enough for the Argentinian at the moment. It's improvement. JLB then, finding his way through Maggots and Beckett's. Once again, Forrest Jumps left the session, interestingly enough, being in 4th position. JLB, DRS down the hanger straight, again, gets close, but no cigar, as they say. He has a tighter line, a much tighter line than Totally No Pro, and as we ride on board with the front wing, I don't know why they do this, it is a bit annoying actually. Why don't you just use the outside cameras so we can actually see what's going on? What's the, you know, they're like attaching us to the side pods and stuff. I like this view here. If I wanted a view like this, I'd just go like that and have that view, because it's much better than this. See, I just don't quite understand how this game's camera settings for the commentators exactly work and what the thought process behind them are. But anyway, we ride on board with JLB down the Wellington Straight, DRS open, but again, no space, no time to get an overtake off. This is pretty much the only battle that's actually occurring on the track. Rayner's getting a bit closer to Weemart, but the gap from Weemart to Ziabat is massive. And then the gap from Ziabat to Shotmaker is pretty big as well. Shotmaker to Mateus, 3.5 seconds. Yeah, it's just not looking like much is going on. Weemart though might have spun around because he's just been overtaken by Rayner. Or maybe no, actually Rayner probably just got DRS somewhere and overtook. Right, back onto the Hangar Straight, back with DRS, back with JLB. We're going to ride on board once again, but once again, he's not going to be able to get an overtake off. Forrest Jump's rejoined, but does that mean that he can take control of his car? Because Mateus has now flown past him as he's ghosted. Mikhail leads the championship because he's got, no he doesn't, because Rayner's up to P8. Rayner's got that fastest lap point again. Back off Mateus, but it doesn't really matter because we're waiting for the end of the race. JLB then putting Totally No Pro under a bit of pressure, but still not being able to overtake, but he's a bit closer now. And on the Wellington Straight, maybe the Aston Martin driver might just be thinking, okay, well, there's definitely an overtaking opportunity somewhere on this track, and it's probably going to be the Hangar Straight. Can he keep with him though, as he drops back to 4.5 tenths back? He's just going to have to try his hardest at that. Through Copse Corner we go, on board with the Aston Martin. Does it nicely, but not as nicely as Totally No Pro, and the gap's back to 6 tenths. Through Maggotts and Beckett's, and it's not really been a very comfortable ride through Maggotts and Beckett's this whole race with JLB. And once again, down to 9 tenths this time. So once he was very close, but he's back. Struggling again. DRS open. The gap, just not enough, is it? It's just that. That's the problem. He's not going to be able to get close enough to overtake, and into the pits they both go. E-I-E-I-O. Right. So, first proper pit stops of the day coming from Totally No Pro and JLB. I think JLB's just maybe copying his strategy, or maybe he was always all along going to go into the pits along with him. I'm not sure, but either way, they're going to come out right behind each other from the pit. Shotmaker into the right-hander is in P4. His teammate Forrest Jump does have he has regained controls of the car and is in P3. Mateus P2, but with that 3-second time penalty. And Mikhail miles away from everyone. The Alfa Romeo driver very comfortable at the front, and this should just be a nice cruise for him. JLB on the back of Totally No Pro once again, both on fresh hard tyres, I believe. Are they? Yes, they are. And yeah, I am waiting for this move from JLB, but I'm honestly skeptical as to whether it's ever going to happen. At this rate, Weemart 8 tenths behind Ziabati is the next closest battle on the track, on the Wellington Straight. P10 and P11, this is the battle for a point. Weemart looks like he's got a much better line than the Williams driver, and much better tyres as well. They almost make contact going through Luffield. But, yeah, again, just not close enough. Mateus gets another penalty for speed, for multiple warnings, sorry. And Mikhail now has pit for his hard tyres. How close are people going to be to him? And by people, I mean Totally No Pro and he's totally nowhere near him. That's a shocking pun, but it is also true. JLB, fastest final sector of the day, but still, now he's a second away from Totally No Pro, and that is not what he wants to see at all. Again with this camera angle, man, why? I want to see the rear wing. There you go, it's not open. No DRS. That's worrying for JLB. Just trying to find any old battle now. But this is kind of what happens midway through the race. He gets another time penalty for multiple warnings. Mateus is on 6. I'm not sure what everyone else is on. Oh, Mateus has retired from the session. Is it a crash? You can see him on the side of the track, and I think it is, because that's not a normal place where you'd retire the car. And safety car, safety car. Now the race has gotten a little more interesting. You can see the McLaren on the side. No, you can't. Oh, no, you can. Yeah, he's definitely crashed there. Out of Maggots and Beckett's, and I understand it. I do understand it, actually. Honestly, out of Maggots and Beckett's is difficult. Shotmaker. Paulo says P1 just to be taken out. Yeah. Was that contact between Mateus, wasn't it? Or what was it? I'm not sure. Mateus has left the session now. It was contact between Mateus, wasn't it? Totally No Pro in the lead of this race. Mikhail has pit again, literally. He just pit before and he's gone back onto the mediums. It's smart. Will it pay off though? Because he has got this man right behind him. And I'm telling you now, Reina will not be taking any prisoners with Mikhail. He wants this championship to come to him easy. He might say he wants a battle. I'm sure he does want a battle, but this late on he still wants to win it at the end of the day, doesn't he? So I imagine he won't be too pleased with the thought of going level or even behind on points with Mikhail into the final race of the season. He wants to get this wrapped up, this race. We'll see what he can do, Reina, but he's now separated from Mikhail with his teammate Young Leader, who started on pole, but after contact with Mateus, found himself at the back of the grid. He has managed to scrape his way back up to P6, but it's not an ideal race weekend for either him or his teammate Reina, really. Both had lap 1 or lap 2 or 3 incidents, and it's not been ideal. I'll tell you who this has worked out for very, very nicely indeed. It's Totally No Pro and JLB. Fresh tyres, and they're P1 and P2. And I know that Totally No Pro's quicker. We've seen that. He slammed into the back of me. Weren't contact. Was it? It was through. Was it into Luffield? I might be mistaken. It was just before Luffield, wasn't it? The Wellington Straight. If you know where I'm talking about, it's here. This is where I mean. This kind of general area with Tesco meal deals just going through now. The pack getting more and more bunched up, and I mean, I don't know. We've got 8 or 9 people watching this stream. Actually, I can check now. 8 people watching the stream, and to those 8 people, I hope you are enjoying. This safety car's definitely spiced things up a little bit. If you are new, and I'm sure a lot of you aren't. Hello, Ern. Welcome back, Ern. I've not seen you all streamed. Good to see you, my friend. If you are new, and I'm sure a lot of you aren't, I'm sure most of you aren't, I'm sure all of you aren't, pretty much, but just to inform everyone, Mikhail is 25 points behind Reina. This is the second last race of the season. He needs a big performance here, and at one point in this race, and a few points in this race, he's been leading the championship, as Reina had a lap 1 incident which saw him end up at the back of the pack, at the back of the grid, and that was all going really well for Mikhail. Ern's on vacation. I hope you're having a great holiday, Ern. And Mikhail found himself at the front of the grid by a mile, with lots and lots of people, a lot of gap. a lot of gap, a massive gap behind him, and he was 13 positions ahead of Rayner. That's not the case now. They're separated by the man who started on pole, young leader. It's a tale of tragedy, really, for him. An incident with the man who started directly behind him, not directly behind him, that's a lie. The man who started behind him, though, in P2, Mateus, who's now out of the race, they had contact, and they both found themselves at the back of the grid. Could we see a redemption drive from these two? Could we see more domination from this man? Well, we'll find out in a few corners' time, because the safety car is in. And also, one thing to point out, Totally No Pro and JLB have been having a bit of a battle these past few laps, and this safety car's benefited them massively. They've gone from P3 and P4 to P1 and P2 on fresh tyres. This has massively benefited them both, but I know that Totally No Pro is quicker than JLB. It's interesting, and it's actually quite fun to have two drivers that didn't qualify too high. You know, they were in the more of the top people, battling it out for P1 and P2, and Totally No Pro's gone, and he's absolutely left JLB in the dust. 8 tenths, 9 tenths the gap to him. Mikhail taken. Oh no, he's slowed all the way down. What has happened? What has happened to the Alfa Romeo driver? We've seen this happen before, actually. I saw it happen before with, I'm not sure, I can't exactly remember his name. I think he only did a few races before he left. But it was, I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was, but it happened with them this season. They, off the safety cars, they pulled to the side and slowed right down. Is it some sort of in-game glitch? And if it has, that's pretty much crushed Mikhail's championship hopes and dreams for now. We've still got 11 and a half laps to go, but Mikhail has just been completely, well, robbed of a position there, because I don't think in all consciousness he would have actually pulled over to let everyone by. Forrest jump then all over the back of JLB, and it's a dream start for Totally No Pro. He's absolutely aced the restart, and down the inside goes Forrest Jump, P3 in the standings, by the way, and this performance will move him up to P2, right behind Rayner, but he would need more than a bit of a miracle to win the championship, but it's still very much so on if this is the way the race ends. Young leader keeping his teammate at bay. Totally No Pro sets the fastest lap. It's taken by Forrest Jump, 0.02 of a second in that one, and Rayner stuck in 5th with Bendel on his tail. Mikhail P7 and Shotmaker and Ziabati battling it out as Shotmaker goes round down to P10. Luckily he spins and ends up facing the correct way so that he can carry on. But I'm not sure if there was contact or if he was just a bit too trigger happy on the throttle there. Either way, Mikhail back up to P7, and he will have all of his targets set on hunting down Rayner and eventually trying to get back onto that podium if it's possible. Forrest Jump then up to P2, and there's a second between him and JLB now. JLB just not having the pace of the front runners today. Young leader 2 seconds behind him. He's struggling as well, and Rayner getting a bit closer to his teammate now, who's harvesting the battery. As you can see, Bendel gets the 3-second time penalty. We got a nice aerial shot which can show us the pace difference. Down to, well, they're down onto the hanger straight now. DRS not open yet, but down the inside, Rayner's going to go, and he takes P4, and this is going to do well for the championship standings. Young leader didn't fight it too much, and considering that they're teammates, it is shows good sportsmanship between the pair. Obviously, Young leader's in it for the Constructors' Championship, and he's kind of been mugged of a podium today, I think, at the moment, if everything stays like this, due to contact. But I think it's good sportsmanship to let the teammate, who is in first in the standings, by, as there's a bit of contact between Mikhail and Bendel comes right across to defend. Very erratic driving, would you say, from Bendel? I think so. Maybe Mikhail braked too late going into that corner. I think that initial contact didn't affect anyone though. But Bendel swerving right, that was a bit much. Bendel trying to send it up the inside as well, it looked like. But around the field we go, and that's another position gain for Mikhail. Rayner's got to watch out. How much is Youngleader going to defend on Mikhail? That shows if he's really in it to really help Rayner. Because obviously Mikhail, just look at him. He's absolutely flying here. Tons more pace than his teammate, than Rayner's teammate, sorry. And yeah, just flies past the Ferrari driver, who doesn't really have a lot left to give. And he's just, he picks up another penalty as well. It is a shame. He's just trundling along through some of these corners. It's a shame to see from Youngleader, not Mikhail. He's got Rayner in front of him. Zerabati gets another time penalty. And up ahead, Forest Jump and Totally No Pro, not separated by a lot at all. And you know what? Forest Jump's got a bit of pace this weekend. A very nice amount of pace from the Red Bull driver. Let's see what he can do, because he is in the championship battle if you think about it. And with Rayner in P4, this is a time like no other to really try and make gains on the man who's 2 places ahead, leading. So he's probably going to try quite a few things to try and get past Totally No Pro here. The Red Bull coming along nicely as well. This is a good race. It's coming along to be a good race for Forest Jump. Very nice race indeed. On the run down to Cops, we've got a battle between Mikhail and Rayner starting to shape up in the background there, but we've got to stick around and watch this battle as it intensifies. The battle for P1 this is. Forest Jump and Totally No Pro battling it out, going through Maggots and Beckett's. Totally No Pro's ahead, but with DRS now for Forest Jump, surely he's just going to breeze by. Someone else who looks like he's going to breeze by is Mikhail on Rayner, because look, he's getting closer as well. We go back to Forest Jump. He wasn't able to make a move down the hanger straight. And you know what? Neither was Mikhail, but he's got a lot closer, and yes, he does. Around the outside, he's past Rayner, but down the inside, Rayner desperately trying to keep it here, but Mikhail has stood his ground and takes P4, and with just the softer compounder tyre, Mikhail is now starting to perform, and Rayner is going to need something big to happen if he does want to overtake Mikhail again, because honestly, Mikhail's just got more pace. It seemed that way, and it's been that way pretty much the whole weekend. And you can already see him start to pull away. But a really good overtake from Mikhail. Forest Jump wasn't able to get past Totally No Pro, and it's do or die for Forest Jump, because he does need to get past him as quick as possible. Because it's very important that Forest Jump puts points between him and Mikhail, so that he can overtake him in the standings and put a push on the final race and have that chance at the championship. But at the moment, going through Maggots and Beckett's, he's close. He's very close actually to the back of the Williams. How close will he be as they enter the hanger straight? You can see the Williams does pull away a little bit. DRS though enabled, and with 52% of battery on that Red Bull, you'd think he'd get a lot closer, but he's harvesting. He's not even using the ERS. Bendel with a 3-second time penalty, just adding to the tally. But I mean, Forest Jump, he almost seems like he doesn't want to overtake Totally No Pro yet. I'm sure that's not the case, but it almost seems like at the moment he's just waiting. And it could be a very smart tactic as well. But he has clearly got a lot of pace over the Williams driver. I think it's just a question of when. Rayner staying within that DRS range of 1 second with Mikhail. But he isn't now. He does get DRS down that Wellington straight, which brings him back within a second, but it's gone again. And we've got yellow flags in sector 3, and it's Tesco Mealdale, the Haas driver. Gone around, he gets going again. Look at this, we ride on ball with Forest Jump. And he is getting closer to Totally No Pro. He's definitely getting closer to Totally No Pro. This time round, Let's see how close they are through Maggots and Beckett's. Not trying to lift too much, not trying to lose too much momentum. The Red Bull driver is definitely closer this time to the Williams. Is this time round the time we see the move from the Red Bull to take P1 and potentially the race win? Well, he's going to try and do it around the outside, out of the hangar straight. It doesn't happen there, but towards the Vale chicane we go. It's going to be side by side, not quite. He's kind of pushing him through the corner onto the Hamilton straight, and somehow Forrest Jump is still not past the Williams. We ride on board into turn 1. No lifting off there. And he's still foot to the floor, but he can't get past the Williams driver. And Young Leader has pit. I thought he'd gone around. I'd honestly thought he'd spun, because he was just dropping down the order quite quickly, so I thought he'd spun, but he hasn't. He's pit. Mikhail getting closer to JLB. You can see him in the background. It's now or never for Forrest Jump. He knows that if it's not him in first place, then he's going to get pipped off by Mikhail sooner rather than later. With all that pace the Alfa Romeo driver has, only 5 laps left. It's so crucial for Forrest Jump to get ahead, and he just can't. I do think he's going at it now. I think he knows what's on the line. I think he knows that he does need to get this overtake done. He knows the urgency, but he can't make it happen yet. We go through Maggots and Beckett. The 1/10 separates them now. The two drivers so close together. The Red Bull may be taking too much of an aggressive line, but the Williams isn't exactly fast. And now not only does he have a run, but he has a tow, and he has DRS, and he has ERS. Is this the time for Forrest Jump? Around the outside he goes, but down the inside, totally no pro can keep it. Does he run it wide? He does. Forrest Jump takes the lead of the race, and it's all switched round. Will Totally No Pro go for it down the inside? He will. They're going to battle it out through the Vale chicane, and you can see how close they are with the front wing shot from Totally No Pro. But it's all over because Forrest Jump takes the lead of the race on lap 22. Mikhail sets the fastest lap because they've been battling. Look how close he is to the back of them now. The gap's only 2/10. I mean, he could still easily win this race with the amount of pace that he's showing. It's unbelievable. Forrest Jump, oh, a bit twitchy on the rear end, and he is going to be under pressure from Totally No Pro down the Wellington Straight. This is the last thing Forrest Jump needs. He covers the inside line, but around the outside, that's the line that Totally No Pro wants to take. He can't get it. Oh, yes, he can, because down the inside into Luffield, they almost make contact. Maybe they did make contact. They're getting oh so close, but no. The lead swapped around again. Totally No Pro retakes the lead into Cobb's corner, nearly side by side there. And Forrest Jump, he knows now. He's got Mikhail behind him, and it's like they're running away from the big bad wolf almost, because Mikhail's got that much pace that as soon as he gets within that DRS range, you know he's just going to fly past you. And Forrest Jump, it really is do or die now. I know I said it before, but with 4/10 the gap on the hangar straight, I don't think he's going to be able to do it into the right-hander. Will he be the first to get pipped off by the Alfa Romeo driver? It's looking highly likely at the moment. He knows the importance. I know I've said it, but he needs to get on with this. And he did. In fairness, he did. 1 lap ago, he was leading going through this corner here. But now he isn't. And that is what is so crucial. Almost within DRS range. Almost for Mikhail. And now it's not a matter of almost. It's a matter of he is. He is in DRS range. And Forrest Jump is 6/10 off Totally No Pro. And he's used all his ERS. And he's had his DRS, and he's had the slipstream, he's had the tow, he's had the better exit. He's had everything. But Totally No Pro has been fantastic in keeping that P1. And now, Forrest Jump will look in his rear mirrors and realise there's not much more that he can do. It's a waiting game. Was the pass inevitable? Possibly, because Mikhail's genuinely had that much pace. Some say that people fear death the most, but I think the real thing people fear the most is Mikhail when he's on a good day, because he's even scared Forrest Jump off the track there. He runs it wide onto the grass and makes the move very easy for Mikhail. Off into P2. And that race win is still a huge, it's there, it's right in front of him. There's a hash gone round and it is Tesco Meal Deal. I can see Mikhail winning this race, and I can see it very likely that he'll win this race because he's got a lot of pace. He's on faster tyres. What can Totally No Pro do? He defended so well against Forrest Jump. Can he do that against Mikhail? Well, we'll have to wait and see. DRS for the Alfa Romeo driver into Loffield. Totally No Pro also just getting past that Haas car. Mikhail also trying to get past that Haas car. On the run down to Copse corner then. Beast plays with a time penalty. And look how close Mikhail is now. And in fairness, Forrest Jump's not too far away either. But he's never going to be able to get past Mikhail. Not at this. It's not at this point in the race. Because he's just. I think Forrest Jump's pace kind of got away from him. And I think he just ran the tyres into the ground trying to make moves. And he kind of lost it and went off the track. And I think that's the end for his race win push. But Mikhail is very much so just getting started here. He took a gamble pitting once again onto the medium tyres. But I do think it's very much so going to pay off. Into the Vale chicane, we ride on board with the Alfa Romeo driver now. And just onto the Hamilton straight, the start-finish straight, to start the 25th lap. Only 2 full laps remaining of this race. And Totally No Pro, in fairness, has done a pretty good job of that last lap, holding Mikhail off. But Mikhail is just waiting. He's waiting for that right time to pounce. And if he can get P1, that's I don't know what exactly the points would be, but it'd be 25, 18, 15, 12. I think it's a 15-point gap to Rayner. He's gaining 15 points, and with DRS, he's going to try and go around the outside. He's squeezed all the way off the track. He gets a time penalty, and he's spun around. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. Mikhail, at what one point looked like he was going to win the race. They've made contact. He's got off the track. He's gone around, and all of a sudden, he's about to get overtaken by Rayner. Through Copse corner they go. Totally No Pro hangs on to the P1. What will be said about that at the end of the race? I don't know. Now Mikhail, he's got the time penalty. He went wide and he got the time penalty. It might be revoked, but what you can't revoke is dropping from P2 to P4. Rayner was genuinely going to try and send it up the inside there. And on the second to last lap, Mikhail has gone around and lost what I thought was an assured race win. Rayner still doesn't have the pace to overtake Mikhail, but he doesn't need pace. He just needs to stay within 3 seconds of him on this lap, the final lap of the race. And I think that's all he's going to try and do. Forrest Jump, 7.5 tenths off Totally No Pro. 9 tenths is now the gap. 8 tenths, 8.5. Yeah, Totally No Pro, I reckon, should be able to see this one out, despite not having DRS and being on the slower tyres. Rayner is actually very close to the back of Mikhail, and he might just try and make a move to rub salt into the wounds there for the Alfa Romeo. I don't know if he'll get an opportunity. He's only got one more opportunity left this lap, and it's going to be at the Hanger Straight. Forrest Jump, 5 tenths, and he's going through Magnus and Beckett now. He needs to nail it. He needs to nail it if he wants to win this. But he hasn't, I don't think, at all. And I think... Oh no! Onto the grass goes Totally No Pro. Dare I say that into the Vale chicane, we could see a miracle from Forrest Jump. I don't know where he started this race. In fairness, I don't know where Totally No Pro did, because they weren't in the top 3, so they weren't really in my mind. But Forrest Jump knows the importance of getting a move here. But into the Vale chicane, it's not going to happen. We've only got a few more laps left, a few more corners left, even that. And onto the Hamilton Street, he wasn't able to do it. And Totally No Pro will win the Silverstone Grand Prix. Forrest Jump second, JLB third, Rayner fourth, crucially, Mikhail fifth. And Rayner does actually increase the championship lead And that means that the gap has gone from 25 points all the way up to, I think, there's only a 2-point gap. It's to 27. But that does mean the last race is at Jeddah. And that does mean that, ladies and gentlemen, as of now, Reina has won the World Drivers' Championship. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong, but I didn't even see it happen. So I'm sorry because I didn't get as excited about it as I probably should have. But I didn't even expect it to happen this race. But if I've said, I think I've done everything correctly in my head there. You, I believe, are looking at, as long as the results stay the same before the post-race, you will be looking at here the 2022, no it's not, it's 2023 obviously, but the 2023 Aurora Racing League Season 4 World Drivers Champion, if I'm not mistaken, unless Mikhail's got the fastest lap. I'm not entirely sure what's gone on in this last lap. There's so much to try and digest. But I think Reina's done everything he needs. Can someone else confirm this? Because I'm making assumptions here. I wanna make sure they're true. I'm in shock of everything that's happened at the end. Massive congratulations to Totally No Pro for hanging on. Forest Jump, brilliant race, just missed out on the P1. Mikhail does get fastest lap, so that's crucial, right? If Reina DNFs and Mikhail wins with fastest lap the next race, which by the way is something that I really doubt will happen, but if it does, then they'll be tied on points. But Reina has got 3 wins this season. Mikhail has got 3 wins this season. Reina has got 2 poles. Mikhail has 2 poles. Reina has 8 podiums. Mikhail has 7 podiums. And that genuinely might be what it comes down to. But it can't be, because if he DNFs and Mikhail wins, he'll also have 8 podiums. Then it goes to fastest laps. This is how the championship's decided. It goes to fastest laps and Reina's got none. And also, I've just realised, obviously, I'm stupid. I am stupid. I am Charles Leclerc. If Mikhail wins the next race, he's on 4 wins. It's not over. I don't think it's over. Unless penalties happen ahead. And they're moved up, and then the points become big. It all depends. It all does depend. And if stuff like that happens, I'll make sure to make a video on how Reina has won the World Drivers' Championship, but and post it to the YouTube, and maybe try and see if I can get it on Twitch somehow. But as of now, Reina isn't technically the champion of the world. Because if he DNFs next race and Mikhail wins with fastest lap, then Mikhail will win. Beast says, bro, I had damage from lap 1. The guy slammed into me, from the guy who slammed into me, and when I pitted, they didn't replace. That's unlucky. Thank you to everyone who watched. I'm confused. I have no idea what has just happened at the end. I mean, yeah. I'm checking the Discord server and everything because I didn't hit him, did I? Honestly, I have got no idea what's happened this race. So much has gone on. I've been focusing on the championship because it could all have been decided today. I have no idea if Reina's the champion or not. I don't know. I mean, six people are watching, and I'm just hearing confusion. I can't confidently say whether or not someone's a world champion. I feel like it's Japan last year when Verstappen got handed the championship because they didn't actually know their own rules. I don't know what's going on right now. All I know is that there's a chance that Reina's just won it all, and there's a chance that he hasn't. There's people typing in the chat. I'm studying it. And there's a lot of disagreement going on, particularly involving the last lap, or second to last lap incident with Mikhail and Totally No Pro. Mikhail wants to watch the VOD of the race, or Totally No Pro does, sorry. He wants to watch the VOD of the race, I think. So, on that basis, I think I need to end the stream so that people can. Thanks to everyone who stuck around today, but I'm thoroughly confused. Is there anyone there in chat that can explain this to me? Because I'm like, actually, unlucky to everyone who didn't fit. I'm honestly, I'm very confused. Yeah, cheers for tuning in, Beast. Yeah, Mercedes' luck continues to be atrocious. Forest Jump and Totally No Pro giving each other the GGs, which is good to see. But a lot happened that race, and I know I've said it, but I don't know what's just happened. I'm very confused, right? Well, gracias to everybody who stuck around to watch. We've got 5 people watching now, absolutely stupendous. We're going up even when I'm not doing anything. Thoughts on my F1 life, guys? Insane stuff. I honestly, I'm gonna have a look at my place. How about this? The greatest part of this whole game, really, isn't it? I seriously want to end the stream with a confident answer, but I don't. I'm gonna have to end it. So thank you to everyone who watched. But I am extremely confused. I'm done, and I'm extremely confused. But as to what's happened, Reina, I don't think is the world champion. I don't think he is. I thought he was, and now I'm thinking actually no, he might not be. But if people get penalties ahead of him, then he will be the world champion by a point, no matter what happens, basically. Anyway, thank you everybody who tuned in for the stream. We did reach 10 viewers at one point. It was brief, but we did reach 10 viewers, so there you go. Good stuff. Thank you everyone. I hope you have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And stick around for the next race, because yes, Reina's basically got one hand on the championship, on the trophy, and he might even have 2, and I'm just missing something. But I'd still stick around and join us next week, because anything can happen. I'm using that same old cliche, Anything can happen in Formula 1. It really can, and you saw it today. And you know that nothing's happening and that the stream's getting dead when we start getting bots promoting their services in the chat. Good stuff. Right, thank you to everyone who watched. I hope you have an amazing morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And from me and Aurora Racing League, good night.